Chat with GPTs, memes made by Bing. These are a few of my favorite things. Okay, I'm sorry, but for real, today I am going to show you some of the AI tools that I got the most use out of in 2023. What up, everybody? I'm Phil Buck, your host for AI Roundup, a weekly digest of all things AI related. And if you like what we're doing here on the show, let me just remind you to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. It always helps me out. Today, we're going to be talking about AI tools that I got the most use out of in 2023. These are the ones that I actually subscribe to, that I actually use on a daily and weekly basis to improve my workflows. So first up is AutoPod. It is a plugin for Adobe Premiere that helps you do several different types of automation for your podcasting, or really just video editing. The one that I use the most is the multicam cut. You can lay in each of those different videos, set up a scene if you want, nest them, and then let AutoPod go through and basically detect which camera should be on the screen based on who's speaking. It's a little bit like how if you're on a Zoom call, it can highlight the speaker, but this is something you can do in post-production. AutoPod has saved me so many hours. I've used it for 38 to 38 as well as my own podcast. I think this is a fantastic tool that I use on a weekly basis. I would highly recommend it if you're a video editor. And speaking of editing videos, another one that's great, and it's hard to really narrow these tools down to just one, but the one that I've been using the most is Opus Clip. This is a tool for taking your videos and not only clipping, the relevant parts that a viewer may want to see, just a minute of a 1 hour podcast. It also can take that video and reconfigure the layout so that it fits into a vertical, 9:16 format. It also gives you karaoke style captions automatically. You can go through and edit these so that if there is a mistake in the transcription, you can fix it. You can change the colors, the styles, the font, and all that kind of stuff. And I think one of the most valuable things is that, when you use something like TikTok, you get those auto captions. As a video editor, I haven't found a tool that I can just plug into Premiere or After Effects that does those karaoke style captions in any sort of automated way. That by itself is a huge boon to your video editors out there. All right, next up, this should come as a surprise to no one, but Bing Image Creator, man, I have talked about that one a lot this year. It really burst onto the scene just in the last few months, where Midjourney and Stable Diffusion were the kings of image generating. Well, Bing Image Creator is floating to the top for me. It is powered by OpenAI's Dall-e 3, but it is the one that has the least strict moderation. You can use it with ChatGPT, which of course we're going to be talking about today, but I really love it, namely just because the ability it has with text. I'll just show you some images that I made with it for, my motivational morning Teams post where I say, rise and grind, let's get this bread, featuring some anthropomorphic breakfast food items, and it got him, it got the text right, probably 8 out of 10 times, which I just find that amazing. So Bing is right up there. I will continue to use it. So moving right along, I said we were going to talk about it. Of course, ChatGPT is the golden child of the AI revolution right now. I signed up for Plus a long time ago, probably been using it for close to a year, and I just love it. I use it sometimes more than I use Google to search. I think if I'm looking for an answer to something that I just, I don't want to sift through Google search results. I just want somebody to talk to me about it. It's a great tool in that way, but more than anything, it's been a very useful writing partner for me. Whenever I have that blank page problem where I'm sitting down to work on a show, I know what I'm going to say, but I don't know how to get started. I can jump in with ChatGPT and I can say, hey, this is what I'm working on today, and it dumps out a whole script for me. I'll look at the script and often go like, I can't use 90% of this, but I can edit almost the entire thing to fit something that I would say. So in that regard, it's been a fantastic tool. All right, so changing gears a little bit, I'm a big fan of Stable Diffusion, and there's a couple of different tools that I use even for the show right now. Looking at the stuff behind you, I not only want to generate images, but I like Stable Diffusion because it has all these extensions that allow you to make animated GIFs and videos. For instance, one that I've been using for this show since the beginning, and I still go back to it again and again, is Deforum. I just love this tool, and essentially all it is doing is it's creating a series of images. It takes your prompt, it creates that initial image, and then it moves that image, and then it makes a subsequent image based on that one. So we'll do a series of images that move in a certain fashion. You can actually script the way that you want the image to move as it goes. So zooming in, rotating, all those kind of things. And so that's how you get these really cool videos that I use for the background behind me. or for the intro. I've been a huge fan of Deforum, and I always go back to it to play with it just to make, just to see what will come out of it. It's so fun. All right, so sticking with Stable Diffusion for just a little bit longer, this is maybe not so much a tool as it is a resource, but CivitAI, that's how I pronounce it. I've seen lots of videos where people call it CivitAI. I don't really know why you would pronounce it like that, but forgive me if I'm getting it wrong. To me, when I see the big AI at the end of the name and it's in a different color, I say CivitAI. So what is CivitAI? It is a website. It is the go-to website at this point for finding custom models for Stable Diffusion, fine-tune models, LoRa's, all those kind of resources that if you're trying to do stuff with Stable Diffusion and the base models just aren't going to cut it, because let's just be honest, they don't really cut it. CivitAI is the place. It is the place to go. Not only can you find an amazing amount of resources, people are making models on their own time, fine-tuning these things on their own computers and sharing them with the world, but you can find a whole database of images, so you get ideas on prompts, you get ideas on what to make or what is the latest trend in video or animated GIFs, stuff like that. I will warn, as always, that CivitAI is full of lots of not safe for work content, so take that warning if you're going to go jump on the site, that make sure until you set your settings to have safe search on and all that, that you probably don't want to go to that site at work or in front of kids or anything like that. But nonetheless, that even with that caveat, I think it's an amazing site. And if you're trying to do things with open source models and Stable Diffusion, that is the site to go. That is the place to be. Moving right along to another one that has really been overlooked for me in the show is Fireflies. This is a tool that you can use, basically a chat bot joins your meetings for you and takes notes, takes a transcription of the entire meeting. It will then go back and summarize the meeting notes, giving you kind of like a short version of what came out of the meeting, as well as action items, which is so huge to me to be able to, have an hour-long meeting and forget everything that you just said because of the passion of the conversation. And then go look in your email and Firefly says, oh, hey, here's the 10 action items that came out of that meeting. I found another great perk of this is that you can integrate Fireflies with a lot of things. For instance, Monday.com, which is a project management platform, you can actually automate Fireflies to take action items and create cards for things that you need to get done. So not only do you have a list of stuff, but you now have actual things that people are going to get notified on. This person do this task, set a deadline, all that kind of stuff. It's just, to me, it's still in a baby mode. It doesn't work amazingly well, but it works well enough to be worth the investment. All right, and before we wrap up the show, I of course have to touch on one more video asset. I think this one really stands apart from all the Stable Diffusion stuff we were talking about. Runway ML has really been the cutting edge platform for all kinds of AI video tools. You can use it for very straightforward video utility type stuff like removing a background from a video. Of course, it came out on the scene for its text to video models. The Gen 2 model is amazing. I would recommend playing with it. Something that I have found that I love is the image to video as well as the motion brush options. Basically, what you're able to do is take an image, plug it into Runway ML, and create a video just from that image, or even better, use the motion brush and you go in, you highlight a certain area. So for instance, a couple of weeks ago, I used the motion brush on Runway ML to take a holiday fire scene and make the fire look like it was moving. So I said, hey, let's get this fire right here, this candle right here. Let's get a little motion going. And it worked perfectly and it was great. And so now suddenly I had from nothing to an image to a video that I could use as an intro to my own little live stream that I was working on. There's so many more out there. I would love to hear if you're using tools in your workflow that are AI powered. Sound off in the comments or join the MMM Discord. Let me know what you're using. I can't cover them all as much as I try. I know there's ones out there that I haven't hit yet. And so that's our AI roundup for today. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the show, please help me out by liking this video, drop a comment, sub to the channel, and also be sure to follow us on social media at MSP Media TV. If you'd like to reach out, our email is news@mspmedia.tv, or you can call and leave us a voicemail at 833-MSP-NETWORK. All right, everybody, I'm Phil Buck, and this has been your December 20th episode of AI Roundup, and I'll see you next time.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.